Hey guys, it's Kiriverse and welcome to my mobile game review. I try out mobile games and share my thoughts and opinions so that you guys can decide if you want to play them too. So grab your sword and shield and gather your brothers at arms because today we are reviewing 3 fun fantasy games. So without further ado, let us be off on our grand adventure. To start us off, let's check out this cool game called Untitled Dungeon Raiders. IDR was developed by Pyre Games, which is situated in Istanbul, Turkey, and published by them as well, and is sitting on a 4.7 star rating on the Apple Play Store. You can get the game on the Google Play Store, but for some reason it's not showing the ratings there. Like the name implies, IDR is an idle RPG AFK dungeon crawler, designed to keep you engaged as you watch your characters battle their way through a dungeon, passing by dropped gold and chests you can open by tapping them as you go. But be warned, if you miss them, there's no going back until the next run. You start off the game watching some warriors enter a dungeon, giving you a little hint as to how the game is going to be played. While doing that, there's a little dude that pops up every once in a while as your tutorial guide and will give you advice on what to do. I don't know how useful bro is because after about 5 seconds into the dungeon, the group of raiders gets absolutely obliterated by essentially the Balrog that told us that we shall not pass. After that, you find yourself naked and afraid in front of a campfire talking to the little dude again, which turns out to be Mayor Gloomstone. He tells you that you've met before, mysteriously you've apparently lost your memory, and that you are tasked with helping him protect Grimberg from dungeons and monsters that have been pestering the residents. He gives you a quick overview on how to navigate the item menus, the skill tree, the equipment, and so on. The big part of the game is the skill tree, because powerful skills equal a smooth run in the dungeons. After that, you get a look at the map and go on your merry way. Now, I gotta be honest, most of the time I really don't like the fact that there are games where you yourself can't control your characters, but this game has made it fun and interactive enough to give me second thoughts on the idle genre. Not a lot though. The cell shading art style is fun and different with that classic early PS3 vibe and maybe a little N64 sprinkled in there. The game itself is cool because of all the characters you can unlock to help you on your journey, the armor and different visual modifications you receive when you start to get those good pieces of equipment, and the satisfaction you have of seeing your little band of heroes getting progressively stronger each round, which is absolutely fun. Of course, like any game right now, there's going to be some microtransactions that are there as an option, but the good part is that they are completely optional. You can gain pretty much anything in the game with just slow progression, and that's fine by me. When it comes to replayability, it's one of those things that you can put hundreds of hours into, enjoying the slower pace of the game and allowing yourself to do something to play every once in a while when you need some time to kill. If you're someone that wants to grind the game and become the strongest there is and only play for the story progression, it will be a little bit more frustrating for you because the game is designed for a more casual playthrough, not really something you rush unless you go the play to win route. All in all, the gameplay is fun for what it is, character design, enemies and bosses are cool, the game has a ton of content you can sink hours into, and so on. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's definitely a game I would recommend picking up. Okay, moving right along, we have our next game, Godbreaker, which is such a badass name, not gonna lie. Godbreaker is a roguelike RPG that is developed and published by Grow King Inc. GB is one of those games where you get it with low expectations and you realize, holy this game is actually awesome. It's another game that utilizes the cool cell shading style to the fullest, giving your character a cool dynamic look with a top-down perspective. But unlike other games that try and get you with the style alone while the gameplay is either mediocre at best or lacking in style and originality, this game hooks you with its fast-paced and flashy gameplay. The way the game is played is that you have a dungeon you fight your way through, and the goal is to make it to the end of this dungeon to defeat these giant bosses, aka gods, who have been corrupted, and it's your job to defeat them. Along the way, you have a multitude of enemies you have to battle your way through to achieve this goal, and this is where the cool part happens. The battle style of the game is very hack and slash like, similar to how games like Diablo are, except on this mobile game it's actually enjoyable to play. The fun roguelike element for this game is that as you traverse the dungeon, you unlock these elemental skills you use to help you mow down enemies faster, with a pretty much basic element wheel with water, fire, nature, etc. But you get to have have a ton of different combinations with them as well, with an extremely cool effect that happens for each of them. For some of the basic ability upgrades or skills you acquire, it kind of coincides with the element you choose. Fire gives you DPS or attack increase, while water gives you speed and agility with some great combo skill-based attacks you can pull off later on down the road. Nature gives you buffs like HP, defense, HP recovery up, things like that. There's even an electric element you get to unlock later that gives you static, AoE, and speed-based skill attacks. It's incredibly fun to mix and match with countless possibilities to try and improve your run each time you play. And you don't only go in with a sword, you can improve your chances by adapting your playstyle with different weapons. You have an axe, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie, and a giant mace, which is low-key my favorite because you can go in and just absolutely obliterate everything in your path if you have the right build. What I like about this game the most is that it's very skill-based. It does not hold your hand, and it's up to you to figure things out and get better so you can progress through the story and through the ranks. What's even better is that you have full control over your character, and it's not auto AFK kind of game. Don't get me wrong, there's people out there that like games like that for sure. It's just not for me most of the time. At the end of the day, it's an incredibly solid game, and I would recommend it to anyone that just wants a little bit of a time waster and that doesn't require too much thinking or good Wi-Fi. Alright, soldiers, men and women who fly the flag of exploration and honor. If you've been enjoying the video so far, could I ask you to hit that like and subscribe button? That would be wonderful. Peas and tissues. And now we make it to the final hurdle, the end to our journey. Ladies and gentlefolk, I give to you Knighthood. Knighthood, a legendary game of legendary proportions, was developed by the independent studio Madoki. Based in Warwickshire, England, the team at Madoki created the game using their own proprietary engine, the Madoki Development Kit. Now there's a lot behind the making of this game, but I'll be telling you about it probably in another video or a short because I want to focus on the gameplay for this one. Now, guys, if you've ever been a fan of turn-based combat games, you will love this game. This has everything you would want for someone that wants to scratch that itch, but doesn't want to buy a $45 Persona game. Although I got Persona 3 for Steam when it went on sale, so I'm no better. Disturbing the peace, look into my thighs. So you start off with the game giving you a little bit of a dialogue with an older, scruffy looking kind of guy that asks you, "So you want to become our Rage Knight, eh?" And then after that, you get into the game character creation, which is pretty simple, but I kind of like the games that don't give you a ton of options. That's just a personal thing for me, because my thought process is that you spend like 2 hours creating this emo, super original character with a tragic backstory, getting every inch of the face right down to the freckles, and in Baldur's Gate's case, the giant hung Fuda. And then after the first thing you get as an equipable item is a helmet, which defeats the entire purpose of having a unique half-orc, half-elf with a tiny scar on his face with his tragic childhood that should stand out because it's part of the immersion. But no, you just have the freaking bucket on your head because it gives you defense stats your otherwise squishy OC would never have naturally, so you need it. And so after you get done with the character creation, the old dude introduces himself as Drake's son, and that he will be your guide and mentor in becoming a Rage Knight. And this is where the game officially starts, kinda. Like, it actually gets you into the combat fairly soon, which honestly is absolutely fantastic. When your turn starts, you get a set number of actions you can take. The actions can be used to attack, use an ability, and so on. Very easy to learn, and you use the chain of attacks you can spam to do greater damage to enemies. You can even keep the chain going by switching over to other enemies quickly so you can use up the rest of your actions on the next unfortunate soul. The big part of the combat though is the Rage Knight Gauntlet, which you unlock by defeating a troll. Also, the HP and armor work a little differently in this game too. Instead of just having an HP bar, you also have an armor bar that blocks a certain number of physical damage, while magic and arrows can pierce through the armor and just go straight for your HP. A very cool concept that I wish more RPGs would implement into their games. Bosses would be so much easier if you knew you could last a little bit with your Fortnite armor and then get tons of HP enhancing items and equipment, but whatever. After you fight your way through a couple of enemies, you get to the cave that you unlock the gauntlet at, which then triggers a little cutscene that explains what it does. Basically, it just allows you to summon allies. It has this whole spiel about how you summon past heroes and yada yada yada. Also, you can use it as a weapon and use these stronger basic attacks by using a timed event. It also allows you to use ultimate moves, which change depending on what past knight you have in your party. Whatever, you start fighting a bear, and then after the bear, you fight the troll, which looks like a giant cow, but you know. After you finish the first half of the tutorial, and then the story starts to progress more and more, and you get to see that this game is a lot bigger than you thought. There's guilds you can join, raid bosses you team up with other players to take down, arenas to fight other people's teams, a ranking board to show just how far people have gotten in the game, and so much more. This is more than just a turn-based RPG. This is a game made with care and love of the craft, and I'd love to see it blow up even more and get the attention it deserves, because it is really an amazing game. And with that, we've made it to the end of the video. Guys, holy crap, we did it. We survived the journey, became closer along the way, and have rich and dangerous stories to tell around the campfire for the next band to listen to. And I hope you guys liked this video, because honestly, I had a lot of fun making this and playing these games. I like playing whatever tickles my fancy, and I've made you fancy a tickle even better. Wait a minute. Anyway guys, it's been fun. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. It's finally time for me to hang up my sword. Until next time guys, stay curious.